everybody. Welcome to episode 11 of the Independence High High podcast with me, Kevin Abad. So today, gonna be a solo again, similar to the very first episode, throwback. And so today is hopefully Valentine's Day, assuming the schedule is going to pan out as I see it. But yeah, today is Valentine's Day, the day of love. Saint Valentine, thank you for giving us a beautiful day where people with couples are happy and people who aren't are very sad. So for those without who are not in a relationship, I you know what, just don't even worry, because that's why you're here, because you're gonna learn how to be the best ladies' man, the man's man, whatever you need to be to get with a significant other. I am a trust professional. I'll list off my credentials. I have been in the same relationship for how long? Almost 2 years. So I'm like overqualified for an internet show that nobody watches, giving relationship advice. There's no one better that you can do than me. I've been in a total of 2, if you include the 2 relationships. If you include the one right now. Don't like to talk about the first one. It lasted a month, but in my mind it lasted 3 days. But maybe I'll talk about it if I need to fill time. So yeah, how do you get a significant other? So the very first step is to pick the right person. You got to make sure that whoever you're liking is the correct person, because, well, it kind of ties into the first relationship, because if you end up not liking the person after you not really get to know them, because hopefully you get to know them before, after you begin, then it's not going to be a fun experience. And if you're like me and you're a coward and you don't want to break up with someone, then you're just going to suffer for an extra, say, 25 days until you decide to break up with them. So, after that, I'll be specific example. How do you find the right person? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, I would recommend being friends with someone before you know them. I wouldn't go right into dating. I don't know though. I've never tried it. It could work out well, but I know personally for me, I think I'd be really bad at it, because I kind of treat everyone the same, like kind of like a friend, I guess. So you would get friends up, basically. That's what we're. Oh wait, what am I saying, dude? I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm very tired. So find the right person. How do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Again, because I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm too tired to edit. How do you find the right person? Good question. Just make sure that you're compatible. Opposites attract, they do say that, but you always want to have things in common. Damn, I'm like a professional. I should just find a website. I should make my own website, because I'm that good. Find the right person. That's the bottom line. That's all you need to do. All right, and step after that. This is where I'm like the professional. I'm the best. And how do you ask this person out? Well, as I already said, you want to be friends with them before, and it could take you a long time before you decide you want this friend to become a significant other. If it's in my case, you find out pretty quickly, but then it takes you 7-8 months to act. So I recommend being friends with a person for a few months, and that is, I think, a reasonable amount of time to get from meeting them to, or not meeting them, because you could know someone, but then becoming from acquaintances to friends with someone is like a different step. So from the moment you become friends with someone to a couple months, that's like the golden period of when you want to do it. But me, I wait 7 months because I'm a fool. And you know what? The original idea was to be a joke. To be a joke. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, I think that's good advice. I don't know. I like I said, I'm qualified. Of course, that was a joke. But now, I don't know. Maybe I'm actually going to start a legitimate dating site now. a legitimate dating business. I'm pretty sure there used to be an account that did that, like on Instagram specifically for independence, that like put people together. Can't remember. I have to look that up, but I probably won't because I'm gonna either forget or I'm gonna be too lazy to do it. So, how do you ask this person out? Become friends with them. Establish a strong rapport between the two. You want to be very close friends, so that you will be the first person they come to when they have a problem in their life, an emotional problem. You know, like, oh, my mom is eating my food, and then you cry about it. Bam, they come to you. They're gonna be like, they're gonna complain to you. They're gonna rant to you all the time, and then that's how you know you're in. I'm a guy. I should mention, by the way. So these strategies have not been tested by females on males. Males on males. I've had a friend give advice on well, not advice, but he's given me insight, and it seems similar. I have no idea, but I'm specifically focusing male to female. So yeah, you want to definitely become friends with them, very close friends, and then this is where it gets a little bit tricksy. You want them to get into a relationship with someone else, and that's gonna sound very counterproductive. You're gonna be like, wait, what the I mean, whatever. Don't censor it. I don't care. Chris, do whatever you want. Become friends with them. Make them get a significant other. Yes. So this significant other can be planted, as in it's a friend of yours that you specifically trust to be in a relationship with them, or some random person that just happens by chance, which is less recommended. So you're obviously going to be, very heartbroken if it's the latter scenario, because, the person you really like is now under the affection of another. And that's not very epic, as the kids say. So you're going to be like, that sucks. And you're going to be really sad. But that's okay, because it's character development. It'll make you a stronger person overall. It's called, that's a plot. Eventually, it'll build up to the climax, and you'll live happily ever after. We'll get to that very shortly. Very shortly is relative. But anyway, it's Valentine's Day, if I didn't mention that, by the way. See, I'm very rambly, as a lot of people who know me could tell. You might be able to tell through these interviews, but it's I don't know what I'm talking about. That's kind of the point of the show. Like the interviews were supposed to go into like random topics, like how it's branching off, like an actual podcast would. But then it just became interviews, and then I didn't want to put thought into it, and I didn't want to do it because I was lazy. And now we're here. And see, how did I get here? I don't know what I'm talking about. I've said that a million times, but that's okay, because that's what podcasts are for. They're to listen and to enjoy yourselves. You could be doing homework right now. You could be playing games right now, just listening to my very ugly voice. You could be doing a large number of things, but you're here, and that's all that matters. Thank you very much. And it's Valentine's Day. Let's get. I don't know. I'll figure a way to get back to it. So, Valentine's Day. Build character. Yes, it'll build a strong character. Now, as I've said before, am very slow in establishing a relationship. I have liked a variety of people throughout my life, and I've only had 2 significant others. One of which I still have right now. But I would have, hopefully, a lot more. I could have potentially had a lot more if I decided to ask out the people who I was attracted to. I don't know if that made grammatical sense, but you get the idea. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Probably a bad thing, because I'm very happy where I am now. What was I talking about? Dude, I need to write notes on what I'm talking about. but then it's going to be too loud on my keyboard. I should write like a script of all the things I'm going to say in a podcast or on this show. It's a lot harder without an interviewer or an interviewee, I suppose, because then I have to do the talking. And I'm pretty good at talking. I would consider myself a very good talker, but I'm very bad at thinking. So I kind of just ramble, and then so I'll go on and on about something, and then suddenly my brain will just stop, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have already noticed. It'll just stop working, and then I'll kind of freeze and be like, what was I talking about? And then I'll just segue into something else very poorly, which, that kind of just happened right there because I forgot what I was talking about. But then I remembered very quickly, at least this time, thankfully. And yeah, I'm going to go back to talking about relationships now. So the entire premise, I already am off track again. The entire premise of this podcast, what it was supposed to be a joke that I made about how to get into a relationship. And it's not funny because I'm not funny. And it's even less funny in podcast format, as a lot of my friends have pointed out. They'd be like, hey, wouldn't that be a lot less funny in a podcast format? I'm like, yes, but I'm going to do it anyway because I need to put a video out because I'm trying to dedicate myself to this. And no content, content is trash content. Actually, you know what? Trash content is probably worse than no content. I'd rather have no content than bad content. But I'm putting out bad content anyway. Anyway, I set up this entire episode to be a singular joke. And then as I sat down, turned on my mic, turned on my computer, I was like, how am I going to drag this out to like 20 minutes based on this joke? And it's not even a joke. Like I said, it's not funny. But I was like, how am I going to drag this out? And I guess by rambling about a bunch of random things. Well, they're not necessarily random. They're all related to the podcast. And I do kind of segue it to each other, except for when I go back into what I was originally supposed to talk about. Then it gets kind of crazy. And I forgot what I said before there. But anyway, this is not going to make any sense to anyone listening except for me. It probably won't even make sense to me. Like, listening back to it, I'm probably not going to rewatch this episode. I'm going to be honest. I don't rewatch a lot of episodes. But I do read comments on them. So comment, like, subscribe, do whatever you want. I don't really care. I'm only doing this for the 2 people who actually watch me. Shout out if you know who you are. Or you do know who you are. It's still fun to do, I think. It gives me an outlet to... Okay, I need to shut up. I need to absolutely shut up. And I'm going to talk about... I need to finish this joke, and I'm going to go to sleep. That's my plan. All right? Can we agree on this? Yes, thank you. It builds character. Remember that? That was like a million years ago. Oh my gosh. It builds character when you are sad. And that's an awful thing to say. But it's true. So they'll be in that relationship. But you need to keep being their friend. You need to be the best friend that you can possibly be to them. Be even more clingy. Well, no, don't be clingy, but like be there for them. And they will hopefully be there for you as well. And keep building that rapport very strong. So much so that the guy is gonna get like jealous of you and be like, "Hey, girl, I don't know about this guy. He's kind of sus." And she'll be like, "No, he's just my best friend." It'll be like that. That's what you're kind of going for. So eventually, hope that the relationship goes on for like several years. This is the ideal. And then you gotta hope, or if you planted a friend there, then you just tell them to do it. Hopefully they break up. And it's going to be a very nasty breakup. And it's going to be very sad for both of them. Threats are going to be thrown out. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. So there'll be lots of crying, lots of horror. But you know who's going to be there for this person? It's going to be you. That's right. You're going to swoop up right beside them and be like, "Hey, I heard about your breakup." Or they're like, "Hey, why are you sad?" And then they'll be like, "Oh, my boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever, just broke up with me." And then Right when you figure that out, you're gonna be like evil smiling, evil grinning, rubbing your hands together, and you already won. It's just smooth sailing from here. All right, and then so during that initial breakup period, you gotta absolutely you gotta put your A game on. You gotta put your game face on. You gotta absolutely do everything you can to win their affection, because that's when they're gonna realize that you and the person, you and them, you were meant to be together this entire time. That's when they're gonna realize that you're gonna be the best friend that they can. You're gonna drive over to their house. You're gonna bring them a bunch of cookies and be like, "I'm very sorry. Let's watch a movie and just not think about it. Let's try to be happy." That's what you're gonna do, and it'll be a great moment between you two. And from there, smooth sailing, because then they'll fall in love with you. And then all you would have to do is just keep doing the same thing you've always been doing. You can even dial it down if you want, because then they'll be the one to ask you out. And then when they do ask you out, it'll be a very romantic setting. I can imagine it on a cliffside, overlooking the city, trees everywhere on the cliffside, of course, looking over the stars. You're going to be chilling on your 1960 El Camino, on the roof, looking at the stars, and then it'll be completely silent. You'll both look at each other, and then you'll just know. You'll just know, and then bam, you'll just kiss instantly, and then you'll live happily ever after. And then the camera will pan up, it'll swirl up, and then go into the credits. It'll play "Don't You Forget About Me," the song from The Breakfast Club, and it'll be a beautiful moment. That's how you're gonna get a significant other for your Valentine's Day. Well, not for your Valentine's Day, but hopefully for Valentine's Day in the next 7 years or so, depending on how long you want to go. Maybe three probably the minimum. I would say 3 or 2, but probably more likely 3. So that's the perfect plan to get into a relationship with anybody. It guarantees works. I've seen, like I said, I'm very qualified. Have a girlfriend. I've seen every possible romantic movie on Hallmark. Every Valentine's movie. It's a proven strategy, and it just works. It just works. You can quote me on that. And excuse me, I'm very tired. But so you landed your significant other. That's great. What are you gonna do now? Now you gotta worry about your first date. So what is the goal of a first date? Your first date is to get to know each other as much as possible. But if you follow my case, if you follow my scenario, my love scenario, as Icon once said, that's actually a breakup song. But anyway, if you follow those steps, those simple steps, you're gonna be on your first date. And there's already a rapport there, so you don't need to worry about building that. So you just want to go big. You want to be something to remember, that she'll fall in love with you instantly, or he. Again, I'm kind of going off personal experience. So what you want to do is you want to be with them together as long as possible, and that should reflect in your first date. So what you want to do is you want to get like flight tickets to like Tokyo, to Europe, somewhere that's like hopefully along the equator, but on the other side of the hemisphere. Maybe not after. Actually, I changed my mind. Go near the equator, because you want a tropical island. So, spoiler, you're going to end up surviving on a tropical island. You definitely want an area where you'll land on a good island. Maybe you could pre-pick the island and then purposely sabotage the flight. So anyway, you're going to be going on a flight with them, and the plane is going to crash, and you're going to end up on a desert island with them and you, hopefully alone. If there's any survivors, kill them. That's ideal, because ideally it's just going to be you two, because then that, if there's more people that you don't know, that increases the chances that they might kill you and eat you, and that's what you want to avoid. So hopefully you'll pre-pack some survival supplies, some canned food, just the basic necessities. But it'll be you two on the island, and of course there's going to be panic as you are stranded on a desert island. But again, it builds character and it'll build a relationship, because what's important in a relationship? That you work together. That's right. You have to work together to survive. And that is, like I said, it's just the most important part. You got to be on the same page. And surviving a deserted island is going to be the best plan. And that's your first date. So this date can last anywhere from a few days to a few years. Possibly to death, actually. But, again, if you follow the plan, you already know this person, so you can trust them. They'll be great company, and you'll be living very closely when you have to huddle. You have to cuddle for warmth in the cold nights, and hunting for food together. Very, very nice. It builds more trust. More communication is even, you need a lot of communication required. Especially looking for water, building shelter. That could be very frustrating, but you have to have each other's backs. You gotta be close. And then hopefully you get saved so that you can return to do other dates and such. But if not, then, that could be good. If the island's good enough, you can survive. Survive until death. And then you can start your own family there. You can do a lot of things on a desert island. You can even, try to escape. But, again, I would only try to do that once you think the date is good. You're done. Ideally, I think a couple months is the best. Probably 6 months. Excuse me. Yeah, you want ideally 6 months on the island together. And I think that's pretty much all I need covered. So, all you lonely looking for lovers out there, you just got the advice from the best on how to get one, so you'll be prepared for Valentine's Day in the years to come. And if you are alone on Valentine's Day, there's no need to be sad. You should be happy that you don't need. Okay, you know what? That's not a good way to end. A relationship is nice, but you don't need it. The only person you need to love is you, and the only person. I just said that. I was gonna repeat what I said. You know what? Just have a good Valentine's Day. I'm very sorry that this episode's trash, and it was very rambly. I was originally supposed to have a political themed episode today, but then I realized it was Valentine's Day, and I was like, I need to do something love related. Hopefully next week or the week after, there will be a new episode. If you're watching all the way to the end right now, it's going to be featuring Johnny Jungkook Nguyen. He was on the Twice Club podcast very briefly. But he will be talking about politics with me, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that one more than this one. I'm going to super clickbait this. By the way, if you couldn't tell, the very bad clickbait and stuff for the title, at least, of the last episode was completely intentional. It was, purposely made bad. We just drew the red arrow. We didn't even, get the classic one from Google Images or whatever. Or I'm going to try to clickbait it again. Maybe my editor, Chris, and we may be too lazy to do it. We'll see what happens. I honestly have no idea. I don't know where this is going. I hope everybody has a beautiful day, beautiful evening, whatever time you're watching this. And keep looking for love, because it's not going to find itself. See you guys next time.